Finding and looting a treasure chest is always fun, even when the loot isn't the greatest. The problem is they spawn so randomly, it's frustrating to locate them. While there are maps showing places where they may spawn, they aren't precise enough to point out exactly where to look. This video provides the detail needed to reliably locate them in Stranglethorne Vale. The first thing to understand is that while chests spawn randomly, they do so in a fixed cluster of spawning locations, usually 3 or 4 in number. For example, the 2 spawning nodes in the ruins of Aberaz and the 2 in the ruins of Jubawal form a single cluster. A chest will spawn in one of these 4 locations and not affect chests spawning in any other cluster. Loot a chest from the Aberaz Jubawal cluster and a replacement will respawn in 15 minutes. Which node it appears at is completely random, but it will always be one of these 4. I've seen chests appear 3 times in a row at a single node, while other times they rotate like clockwork through all 4. Knowing this, it's quick work to check out the 4 sites and find a chest. When it seems like a chest has failed to spawn, it means another player recently looted it. Here's the Aberaz site. Chests can be found back in this corner and also in this corner of the main room. Let's look at a close-up of it. Here's where that one can be found. It's not just somewhere in the room, it's always in this exact spot. Here are the ruins of Jubawal. A chest can be found back in this corner and also right by this case. The next cluster of chests we'll visit is this complex of ruins located here. Here's a close-up of the area we'll be visiting. The red dots indicate locations where you can find treasure chests. What's odd is this one particular ruin never seems to have a chest in it. Here's the location of the chest in the Ziata ruins. Here's what it looks like. It's back in the corner. Here are the Baihai ruins, and there's the chest. Here's the gateway to the cluster of ruins, and here's a chest. Bear to your right, and you'll come to these ruins. The chest is here. In this picture, where you can see the chest here, I'm standing in this area looking this direction. Left of that ruin is a small ruin that never seems to have a chest in it. Above that one, again further to the left, is this larger ruin. This is the location of the chest, which you can see here. I'm standing here, which is this location right there. Next, we're going to the Venture Mining Company base camp, which is located right here. Here's a panoramic view of the Venture Mining Company base camp. The first chest is located in this area by the fire. You can see it here. Next is along the back wall of the sawmill here. And finally, the chest will appear also up in the derrick, which you can see here against the barrels. From Venture, let's head north to the Curzon camp. And here we have an aerial view. This is a large house. You go straight in, and the chest, if it spawns here, will be to your right. These are the 3 tents in the center of the compound. Chest will be here if it spawns. This is the leopard compound. Chest will be here. This is the round wicker structure. And finally, this is the sawmill, and very occasionally, a chest will spawn right next to the blade. Now, by the time I'd gotten here, I had gotten an impression that, contrary to what I thought before, that the chests would spawn randomly at each of the locations within a cluster, but if you took enough of them, they'd hit each location the same number of times. By the time I got here, I had the impression that they prefer to spawn where there's the maximum defense. For example, this house, to get to this chest, you have to fight your way through 5 or 6 people. And this is where it seems to spawn the most often. Down here by the blade, there's only 1 person guarding it. And this is only happening about 1 out of every 12 spawns. I don't know if this is a fact, but it seems to be indicated by not only this cluster, but all the others I've looked at. The northwest corner of Stranglethorne has two clusters. The first consists of these two runes, the second of this complex of runes. This particular chest is difficult to spot because it's hidden behind a large metal gong. Here's an overview of all the treasure chest clusters I found at Stranglethorne Vale. There are a few additional single chest locations, and most of the caves have a chest, though I avoid those because they're so hard to get to that they're not worth the effort. I hope this helps you locate treasure chests the next time you're visiting the Vale. Thanks for watching.